while we absolutely recognize that every person's experience is unique, these surveys are trying to define just that, trying to get an idea of, can we arrive at some kind of a objective measure that captures each individual's personal experience, but kind of then gives a ballpark of how that relates to a wider cohort or a wider group, matching gender, matching age group, and so on. And they're becoming a really important part, especially in orthopedic surgery. And I'd expect that pretty much everyone here, or everyone watching this who's getting ready for surgery, will be asked to complete some form of this type of clinical survey, be it the Oxford knee score, or the Oxford hip score. In the JointSchool app, we've used another validated survey called the KOOS and the HOOS, and they'll be in the app so to enable you to track your progress. But indeed, also with your surgeon, there will be a program to try to make sure that you are able to check in with those surveys before surgery, to kind of set that baseline, which is super important to understand where someone was before the surgery, and then at a few key points after surgery. And that can vary a little bit depending on the survey that a surgeon or department or hospital may choose to use. Increasingly, this is becoming more standardized, sort of in national registries, and so there's a move to everyone using the same surveys and the same kind of checkpoints. So that could be before surgery, and then it might be at 3 months after surgery, at 6 months, and a year, some variation around that. But the key thing really is to have a baseline, to have understand what kind of situation someone is in before surgery, how they progressed, and ultimately sort of where have they ended up, so to speak, or how are they doing at 1 year, and perhaps even beyond that.
Yeah, and that's really, it's useful for patients to be able to see that, and it's useful for surgeons, and for us from a research standpoint, it's really interesting. So when patients complete that data, we really use it and are thankful for it. So it helps us decide which type of surgeries are better for patients. So I really think doing those scores benefits everybody involved.
Yeah, and I'm really hopeful that with the JointSchool app, it's a way of kind of contextualizing these surveys and their role and what they can do with patients, with people who are most closely affected by them, rather than kind of ticking boxes in a piece of paper and sending it off in the post and not really getting a response back of what was my score, what does that mean, how does it relate, and actually what was my score last time around. And so in the JointSchool app, when you complete the surveys, you'll see, all right, that's me on the graph before surgery, and this is where I am now after surgery. And indeed, for those who are now awaiting surgery and getting ready for surgery and might not have a procedure date, there is also surveys to sort of track your progress on a regular basis leading up to when you have an op date, and that can then be added in, and you kind of start on the pre-op pathway.